What's up, guys? TheJLD here, and I'm here today bringing you another brand new video. And today we are in this game, and it's called Fingerbones. Now, it's a psychological horror game by David Szymanski, I think. Fingerbones is intended to complete in one single setting, and there is no save function. It is suggested that you set aside about a half an hour to complete it. To exit, visit the door you started at. Use WAS to move and left mouse button to interact. Press escape, toggle this screen, press I to invert the mouse. This is Fingerbones. I just clicked I to use the inverted mouse. I don't like it, so I'm going to undo that. Now I have regular motion. Now, there's no jump scares at all. But this game is really, really creepy based on some of the story it tells. Now, I've played through this game. I know everything to do with this game. So what we need to do first is there is a note. Now we need to read all these notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on every single note and read every note in the game. It's my weekend to get Katie, but I'm not really in the mood. I'm really not in the mood. I distracted her with the TV and came here to read. I couldn't interest myself in reading, so I tried to write. I couldn't write anything more than the useful hand of disconnected thoughts and theories. Medication didn't help, and divorce certainly didn't help. Because I'm not depressed, I am enlightened. This is a result of 2 decades of scientific education and philosophical pondering. This is the price of knowledge. Okay. So let me come over here, and you can't actually see much. There's nothing really you can see here. So you need to move over here. And there's a torch. Now, this torch is very, very important to the game, so you definitely want to pick it up. It's always automatically on, but you gotta come here. I don't know why I'd use my daughter's name as the door lock code in my survival bunker, but whatever keeps her happy, I suppose. She's like her mother, a delicate, fragile version of her mother. Damn her. So, now we know that his daughter's name is Katie, and his daughter is the door lock key. So, there's another note. It appears to be a page from manuscript. Pop morality is too reliant on emotions, and not reliant enough on rational thought. If morality must be determined, and I maintain that it is a farce, it should not be determined by feeling. Feelings are nebulous, subjective and changeable. Rather, it should be determined by thinking. The actions of a natural creature are natural and thus moral, unless a concrete scientific reason can be given to prove them as immoral. So, I believe there is one more note on this floor. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there might be one more note. There's no run. Yes, there's a note right here. When I was 15 years old, I lost my virginity. I shook uncontrollably the entire time. I felt the same primal excitement yesterday night in this cellar. This game is not PG, guys, just so you know. Now, what we need to do before we can start using the door locks is we have to turn on the generator. Now that has a red light over there, as you can see. I tried to use the mouse wheel to scroll, but it doesn't work. So, now this is activated. Now I can click on it. And he said that his daughter's name is the key. So if we type in Katie, you hear a little buzzing sound, and that's to unlock this door. Now this door is unlocked. This game is quite spooky. It finally happened. The whole world is a chaos of thunder and screams. And when the ashes settle, we will be all wild again. We will all be wild animals again. I am ecstatic beyond words. I haven't been able to reach Lynn for several days. She's probably dead for all I know and care. But Katie was here when it started, and I have no idea what to do with her. Most of the town is dead. Katie and I survived because we ran to the bunker. Perhaps this is what I've needed. Freedom from all irrational rules and inane social values. Just pure, beautiful survival. And then there's another note here. I boxed up everything that isn't practical and useful. I burnt all the books that weren't for scientific edification. I like to store the boxes in the cellar, but I can't get them down the ladder myself. I just pile them up near the hatch. The blood would probably ruin them anyway. This story is grim and gruesome. I don't know what the story is per se, but it's very creepy. The tool room has been her name for years now, and I can't bring myself to change it. Now, we've only heard two names for girls. Katie, which was the lock to come down here, and Lynn, who my assumption is it's his wife. So that means we need to come back up here to the lock, and then we type Lynn. L-Y-N-N. And the buzzer. So now the tool room should be unlocked. This, in my opinion, is the creepiest portion of the game. There is no jump scare. Just how this happens scared me the first time I played this game. The door just swings open. I changed the storage room code to something I can easily remember. NNY if the rest of the word is missing. I don't want to miss any notes. This, I believe, is locked. Yeah, it's locked. There's a note over here, I know. There are things I've wanted to do for years, desires I've kept locked in the back of my consciousness. Oh, that just scared me. It's been nearly a year since I've seen a woman, and now I realize there's no practical reason to keep those desires locked up anymore. If you couldn't tell, those were the cries of a little girl. Since she remembered Father's Day and drew me a picture, I don't understand her. She's just like her mother. She wants to waste time drawing pictures, and we were barely able to find enough food to survive. I turned her crayons into candles. We need more candles in case the generator goes out again, and it helps break up the monotony. I yearn for the excitement of those first weeks. So, he said that... Oh, that's creepy. Some of the sound effects in this game are just scary as hell. Okay. So he said that the password is N and Y. Now, if you remember, L-Y-N-N, that's how you spell that. So if you do N-N-Y-L, it's Lynn backwards. Now, the last one, I don't remember. I remember the first three codes, but I do not remember the last code. Now, this has not opened the cellar door yet. We have one more room to investigate before we move into the cellar. And it's this room here. And there's a button. I don't know what that button does, but it does something. I am a bag of DNA, and I exist to make more of myself. I married and produced a daughter because my genes demanded reproduction. I wrote books and created because creativity served as a survival advantage to my ancient ape ancestors. I built this place, took refuge in it, and spent hours thinking up silly little artificial laws to live by. Because my forefathers built cities and societies to allow time and peace to reproduce and to protect their genes. Dreams, loves, opinions, desires, beauty, innocence. Figments of our collective primordial imagination. Fleeting electrical signs that fire across our synapses for a pointless moment in time. They used to serve a purpose, and now they're needless confusion. And here I am, the last man on earth for all I know, ready to be freed from them. Believe Oh no. Oh, that just scared the living hell out of me. Now, I don't remember what the last code is. Oh, now I remember. So, we press that button. I remember what that button does now. We enter up here. Now, if you'd noticed when I was walking around in the beginning, there was a little indent there, a very small indent over here. Well, now this indent has grown larger. There's a note. The cellar is freedom. Freedom. Freedom from what? This nightmare? This dream? All I know is that's the code. The cellar is freedom. Now let's continue down into the cellar for what is apparently freedom. Freedom from what is the only question. There's only enough food for one of us. So she's going to die anyway, and I am free now. Freedom. It took the end of humanity. It took the end of all humanity for me to find freedom. It seems to have been torn from a diary. She finally died last night. I don't know whether from starvation, dehydration, or blood loss. I threw her body into the woods. Her fingers, my anti-religious artifacts, my testaments to moral and intellectual freedom are locked in the safe upstairs. I am content in the knowledge that I have done nothing wrong. The father didn't know why he'd come back after all these years, starving and tired. He just wanted to see the cellar one last time. With one last flicker, the flashlight died and he was left in the pitch dark. He sat down on the cold floor and closed his eyes. He could still hear her, even now. It was peaceful here in the cellar. It was free here in the cellar.
Hey, I'm in the green Chevrolet, you in the orange one. And all I can think about is those things that you done. No, it ain't no race, we not cruising. This is a regular case of automobile fusion. I wanna see your face when you get the contusion. Cause everything you say is starting to get confusing. So everybody make way, turn on my racing music. You ain't got much space, you better learn how to use it.